Hello everyone and welcome back to Axon Gamers. So I just played this game right here, God of War for PlayStation 4, a highly anticipated game for a lot of people and probably one of the bigger releases this year. So I was excited to try it out for myself. I've been watching reviews, I heard people talk about it, and a friend of mine beat the game this morning actually. So after work, I met up with him and actually borrowed his copy of the game. So thank you so much for lending me the game so I could try it out for myself. I played the first 2 hours or so on my stream actually, and I picked the highest difficulty. See, what I thought about the game was that this is one of those half open world like adventure games with the like it's not open world really, but there are a lot of secrets and power-ups. They also added some RPG elements to the game, so I felt that to get the most out of it, to actually make use of all the RPG elements and actually reward me for exploring and try and get everything, I wanted to play on the highest difficulty. It made sense to to me. But I would quickly understand that this was not that kind of experience. See, God of War on this God of War anyway on higher difficulty just gives the enemies a lot more HP. So for a first timer, like maybe for a New Game Plus, if that's even in the game, I don't know. Or for a second playthrough, that could be interesting because like you got good at the game and maybe you would just wanna play it again harder. Um, but for me as a newcomer, I would have to like because in the beginning of the game you don't have a lot of moves, so I would have to do the same thing over and over and over again. And having not seen the story before and experienced the game as a whole for the first time, it was really boring actually to get this much story and those long battles. It was just not for me. Maybe for somebody else, but I cannot recommend it to anybody really. I did replay that entire part again later on normal or like the balanced difficulty, I think it's called, and that's the thing. That was really balanced. Because I learned how to play the game by doing the harder difficulty first, I maybe got too good at the game, learning all my mistakes. So when I replayed on normal, it was maybe too easy. But I reflected a little bit about that, and I realized that there's one thing that's really impressive about God of War on PS4, and that's that there's no loading times or like cuts in between the story. So instead of cutscenes, you just have cinematics, and the cinematics flows back and forth through gameplay and cinematics. And if you die a lot, which is fine with me, I like a challenge, but it kind of breaks up that whole idea of the game being one huge movie, so to speak. So actually playing it on normal mode now, I realized that I'm still having fun with the game, and this whole presentation that they tried to go for with this game, which is really impressive. I haven't seen that in a game before, where there's no cuts really, where it's just one moving scene. Like think of a chapter in another cinematic game, but that's like the whole game is like one of those chapters. It's really cool. You should really see it for yourself. I highly recommend the game for that. What more can I say about the game? Like the music and graphics are of very high quality, but nothing that I think stand out too much. It reminds me of The Last of Us, which was impressive for its time, and this is impressive for its time as well. But it feels like I've seen this kind of like quality in games before, so nothing like too impressive, but still it looks really good. It has those like next gen graphics for sure. But I think this is kind of the standard we expect from like a big budget title now, so that's what I'm trying to say. But still, the presentation overall, because of what I said about like the cinematics, those top-notch graphics, combined with the fact that there's no loading and that the cinematics work as they do, yeah, I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. And instead of being like that character action hack and slash game that the old God of War are, this is more of a slower paced, over the shoulder, like action game. Think of when you do the melee attacks in Uncharted or The Last of Us or games of that kind of style. That's how the game began anyway, but you actually got the ability to block, parry, and dodge roll, and it seems like I also am getting new combos and new abilities for my weapon as well. You can throw the axe too, which is a huge mechanic in this game. You throw the axe and then you can retrieve it back. It's kind of like a boomerang, but manual, so you press yourself when you want to grab it back. And you can do combos without the axe as well, where you punch and actually shield bash. So if I swing my axe a few times, then throw it, and then I can attack with my fists, and then retrieve my axe. And when you retrieve the axe, you actually do damage as well. So at first, it really doesn't feel like one of those hack and slash games, especially not on the higher difficulty, where I had to like take enemies one by one and actually throw my axe way more than I wanted to. An entire boss fight on the highest difficulty was just me throwing the axe. It was really not just disappointing, but embarrassing, really. Like I said, I streamed that and it wasn't fun at all. But replaying on normal, I feel that it's much closer to the old God of War games in that sense, where maybe it's too easy, but like swinging around your axe and doing these meaty combos, it feels good, it looks good, and it's a good experience overall. So yeah, there's also this dynamic between Kratos and his son. I don't want to talk about the story too much, but so far they have this little home and they go out on this journey together, and they grow as like a family should. But so far I don't know too much about the story, but it feels like maybe Kratos arrived here very recently, and maybe his son has grown up without him for many years, because it seems like they kind of don't know each other. But one thing I really like so far is that Kratos is being very hard to this guy. He's being very tough and doesn't show much love. But behind his back, there was this scene when he was trying to I can't say pet him, but like stroke him on his back. But he changed his mind, and his son didn't see this. We only saw this, like the players could see this. And that was a nice touch. And it kind of tells you how Kratos wants to show his love, but he kind of can't, because his son needs to grow up and be strong and independable. So, independence, probably the word. Well, you get my point. So that's my first impressions on God of War. I just played it for a few hours, like I said, and I will continue to play the game from now on. I just wanted to, because I just paused the game to get my coffee here. It's getting cold. So let's enjoy that a little. But yeah, I just want to talk about it right as I play the game, when my thoughts are still in my head. And I'm probably gonna think about this game a lot more and play it a lot more. So I'll probably make another video when I do beat the game, if there's anything of importance to add. I think I said everything I want to say about the game so far, but hopefully the game will improve and yeah, prove that high score that it's getting online. I have a tough time believing the game will be that good, but if it is, it's sure worth talking about. So yeah, I will do that eventually. So is there anything else I want to mention? I don't think so. So yeah, thanks for watching as always, and until next time, get gaming.